Hey everyone, Jordan here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new mini case from Thermaltake. This is the TR100. It's going to come in 4 different colours. You've got black, white, hydrangea blue and also green. It's going to be around £109 for the first 3, and then the green is going to be a little bit less at £99. So let's get it out of the box and we'll take a look. So here is the TR100. I believe they announced this at Computex last year. They also announced a piece of luggage that are designed to take this case perfectly, along with the VR headset and some cables and bits and bobs like that. That will be the perfect kind of scenario for going to one of those events. And if you want to do coverage, for example, put a nice little beefy PC in a system like this rather than using a laptop, have your own little screen, or like they had a VR headset, a nice little compact editing machine on the go. But talking of compact, let's go over the dimensions. This is 391mm long, 294 high, and then 179mm deep. But like I said, perfect if you need to take a small powerful editing system on the go. So let's go over the case itself. On the top we have got a filtered panel. You can easily remove this with the thumb screw on the back. That then comes away. You have got some removable filtration on there as well. If you're going to use this as an exhaust, I probably wouldn't bother with that. I'd leave that out. Obviously then you don't have to fight the hot air that's rising. Underneath there you have got support for up to a 280mm radiator. You can of course do a 240 if you'd rather. That's also removable, so you can then put all your fans and radiators on and then bring that in after the fact, which is a nice little addition. Let's pop that back on for the moment. I also like the little sprung thumb screw as well, so you've got to push it in, push that spring down to then screw it down. Really like how they've done that. Of course, if you're going to use an air tower, you can put 2 120 or 140mm fans in the top instead. On the front of the case, we've got that mesh that we see on a lot of cases nowadays. It's a mix of performance and also does catch the dust surprisingly well as well. I have a daily system that I run with the similar mesh, and it does a very good job at catching that dust. There is, however, a magnetic dust filter behind it, should you be in a heavy dust environment when you need that extra layer. On the right hand side, we've got a power button. There's also some activity LEDs on there as well. Reset, there's a microphone, headphone, combi jack, a couple of USB type A's, which are USB 3. And at the bottom we have got a USB type C port, that's USB 3.2 Gen 2. You can actually add the additional LCD panel. I think it also works with the Series 300 and 500. I mentioned it in those videos. On the rear of the case, we've got our pass-through for our power. That will take the power then to the front of the case where we install our power supply. We've also got our expansion slots as well. So we've got 3 slots here, so you can do a triple slot graphics card. This part you can also take out as well, so you can install your graphics card, then bring it in afterwards. We'll talk more about limitations and things when we get inside. So going inside the left-hand side of the case, this is a magnetic panel. Easily comes off, and then you have again got filtration on there as well. Just easily goes in and then clips down with magnets. Inside we've got our accessory box. Let's have a look at what we've got inside here. So here's the panel you need to install if you want to use the LCD display that I mentioned instead. Just easily pop that front one out and then replace that, obviously, once you've installed the screen. Also got all of our screws and things in there, a few zip ties as well. Looks like we've also got a little anti-sag bracket for our graphics card, and also a roll of hook and loop cable ties. We've got an instruction manual, and then underneath here, so this is a Gen 4 riser cable around 25cm long, which obviously brings our connection around from our graphics card, then connect it into the motherboard on the reverse side. So now we've got that out of the way, we can see where our graphics card will install. We've got this little part that the back plate of the graphics card will rest against. You can remove that should you wish, and also change the positioning should you be using a shallower graphics card in there instead. Now that bracket, like I mentioned, you can take out, so if you're using a bigger graphics card that might be a little bit trickier to fit, that will be very helpful. In terms of your limitations, you do have a maximum length of 360mm, and then that's a depth of 70mm. So here's a tough 4080 just to give you an idea, and then we can just bring that in. And obviously you need the riser in there as well, but that will give you an idea. But I think you may have to consider is where the 12-watt high power comes out. That may be a bit of a limitation there. Possibly using a 240 might give you a bit more room, because you'll be using the bottom slots here, and then you can have a little bit more room to play with that adapter as well if you're using that, or the native 12-watt high power cable. So yeah, something we'll have to play with, I think, when we do a build with this. I'll talk to you more about that at the end. So on the other side of the case, again, the same kind of panel as we saw on the other side, filtered as well with the magnet. Then looking inside, we've got our ITX motherboard support on the right hand side. This supports a maximum cooler height of 68mm. Now, although you've got a lot of headroom in the case, you can support a maximum of 130mm power supply. It's going to be SFX though, so they're only going to be so long anyway. We have also got that pass-through cable there for that. Let's have a look what else we've got going on here as well. So we've got that pass-through. That's a very long cable for that. I guess you will bend it back over itself and connect it in there though. That can also be removed, that sled, to install the power supply itself. We've also got our USB Type A connection for our USB 3 ports, the HD audio. We've also got a front panel all-in-one connection, which is what we love to see, and then our Type C as well. One of those is a little bit longer than the other, but obviously it depends where your headers are on your motherboard. You can obviously tuck that down if you don't want to use it anyway. Now you can also mount 2.5-inch drives in this case as well. There'll be a case of using the side mounts on these and then screwing them in here so they will fit something inside like that. You can do that on both sides as well, so maximum of 2.5-inch drives for this case. So that was a look around the TR100 from Thermaltake. Really nice little compact case. Looking forward to doing a build in this. Unfortunately, I don't have a testing system to be able to do thermal tests. However, Thermaltake have done a full test in their labs. You can see a full breakdown on the website. There's slides and slides and slides for you to go through if you want to see a really detailed breakdown. I will put the summary of their thermal testing on the screen though, so you can see what kind of rough figures you could expect. I think it was around 84 degrees for the height of their CPU, which isn't too bad for this kind of size case. Now let me know what kind of build you'd like to see as well. I'm not going to call this a review without building in it. I think you need to actually build in a case to fully review it. So that will be something we'll do in another video. So let me know what kind of spec you'd like to see. I think maybe the 9070 XT will be a quite nice little graphics card to put in this. We'll of course test out the 12-watt high power as well though, for you guys that are going to go with an NVIDIA card. So yeah, let me know what you'd like to see. We'll leave the links to this in the description box below if you want to pick one up. Big thanks to Thermaltake for sending it out for me to look at. Get subscribed and ding the bell so you don't miss the future videos, and obviously the build for this, that'll be out very soon. Thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.